Welcome to the 13 Sports' Coach Show. Once again, I'm joined by Mike Williams, Highland Park boys basketball coach. Appreciate you joining us again.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it, man. You know, the season's right around, school starting today, season right around the corner, so, basketball's close.
So, Coach, we'll bring it up in terms of last year's team, right?
Yeah.
The last couple of years since you've been there, the team just continues to get better.
Yeah.
The team continues to prove that they're one of the best in 5A. And for you, that game against Capon was fantastic. I was at that game, went in overtime. When you look at last year's team, what was it about that team that maybe was different from last year and going into that season? What was it about last year's group that just maybe really stuck out to you?
Well, you can't never discredit or forget about the Highland Park tradition, so really long before I was even thought about being a coach around there, Highland Park basketball was in motion and going. And we've lucked up, man. So you talk about last year's team, you're talking about a throwback Highland Park team. And when I say that, we're talking about people who have been a part of Highland Park culture for so long. Tamir Anderson, a Highland Park dude that's been around forever. My son, Mikey Williams, been around Highland Park basketball forever. Jamin Wilson, Ja'Cory Robinson. So these are all guys that know the tradition and know what the expectation is. And then when you got a group of guys that know that, are aware of that, and then they're willing to maintain the tradition and keep it going. And I think that's the special part about what we've had over the 7 years of being at Highland Park is guys understand you got to maintain this, man. You're not just a part of a team. You're a part of possibly the premier basketball program and tradition that's been in Topeka for 20, 30 years. And, last year was just the same. Great players that bought in. Love being teammates. Wasn't really worried about who got the success or who got the credit. And, I think our record and our games and our season overall definitely showed that.
And something that we talked about last year, and you bring back a lot of these guys, including your son next year, Ja'Cory being one of them. And we know we caught Ja'Cory dunking a lot last year,
season.
being 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". The kid plays like a point guard.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot like Ja'Cory, your son, you have a lot of these guys coming back next year, knowing that sour taste in their mouth that it left after that overtime with Capon. What excites you about this year's group having another year of experience under their belt?
Oh my gosh, the opportunity. You said it right there. As a coach, when you got guys that have been in your program and are returning, and you get an opportunity to kind of run it back, the motivation for me to get over the hump. We talk about the Capon game last year, overtime loss that probably could have went either way. So you go back a year prior to that, we're losing at the buzzer to Andover in the semis. So we've been knocking on the door and been really, really close. And so, first and foremost, we want to get over the hump. And you can kind of get to a point. I never think with teams that we're our ceiling is here, we're as good as we can be. So even as much experience that we return, we still feel like there's more that we can do and we can attain to. And so these guys are active. They're playing AAU. We talked about Ja'Cory had an amazing AAU spring and summer, multiple Division I offers. We just set up a couple official visits for him, so he'll be taking those over the next couple of weeks. And so that's your foundation. And then you mix in there Mikey. Mikey averaged 18 a game for us last year. Jamin led the state in assists for us last year. So we got a great core of guys to build around and to try to do what we've been doing over the recent years and do it again. And it makes it easier for you as a coach. But I also can't kind of relax and think that the ease is there. I got to still find ways to improve these guys, challenge these guys, and push them to the next level.
So I'll ask you, because I know when we go to your games, I know your signature is when you stomp on the floor with your foot. I know I hear that, and that echoes through the gym. I know that, and I hear that. So the passion that you have, and if people don't know your coaching style and what it is like when these players, when they hear you in the huddle, what is it like to be able to coach these players? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, what's your coaching style like at Highland Park?
Yeah, well, specific to the stomp on the floor, that began solely just to get the guys' attention. My voice is super raspy, and it didn't always used to be this way. A lot of yelling, a lot of years has turned it into that. So I'm in the middle of a game, like, man, how do I get their attention? And so I just started stomping on the floor, and they actually respond to that. So that helped. But man, I'm a Topeka guy, man. So a lot of my passion comes from being from the town. And I graduated from Topeka West. I grew up going to the Boys and Girls Club. I know everybody in Topeka, and I grew up around so many of these young people, that I coach. I watched them grow, whether I was their youth coach, whether I was involved in youth programs that they were around. You're going to see me at AAU tournaments and all of those things. And so I think a lot of that burns within me because I want to see these young people be successful, you know, and those are the guys that I coach. And, you know, you take it another step, I'm the same with guys at other schools, you know, I'm just Topeka through and through. So I think my passion and my inspiration comes from being here and wanting to see people from our area get out, wanting to see people from our area being able to utilize the game to get to the next level. And then I recognized, like, at a young age of coaching, I just felt like I had a gift. You know, my degree is in communications, and so I just felt like I had a unique way of building relationships with people, getting to know young people, and then also getting young people to kind of believe in themselves more so than they maybe initially did. And so I try to utilize that and bring that to the table. And then, you know, also the basketball background. So graduated from Topeka West High School. I played junior college basketball at Hutch JUCO, played Division I at the University of Northern Iowa, and then I graduated from Washburn University. So just, I got a really, really unique basketball story, a lot of experience, and I want to share it. You know, I want people to know that.
And to talk about the experience in terms of people who've helped you.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this before. You're under, you know, Coach Bloomquist,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Coach Darding.
Yeah.
You know, I know you don't know Coach Slaymaker, but you've had maybe some interaction, or you know about his game and you know what he brings to the table too. So when you have guys like that at Topeka who are Hall of Famers, soon to be
Yeah.
Hall of Famers, what is it like learning from those guys specifically?
Man, you know, you end up not really realizing the amount of basketball knowledge you have until it's needed. And then you were able to pull back from the experiences, the learning, and all of those things. And even before I got to becoming a coach, I played for a man by the name of Chad Eschball at Topeka West. Goes on and has a great college career, and he changed my life with the game. He caused me to look at the game differently, expect more out of myself from the game as well too. And he just set me up. If it wasn't for him, I probably don't go to college and play basketball. Changed my life. So play and get out, and I go right into coach. I didn't know I was going to be a head coach. You know, my wife is pregnant. I love basketball. I just needed to, you know, get active and get a job. And so then I look up. You know, we got pretty good at West. I played coach for a man by the name of Matt Hunley. We got pretty good at Topeka West that year. Went to the state championship game, and Coach Darding was in the midst of an amazing run at Highland Park. And so he offered me an opportunity over there, and I'm a loyal guy, man. So at first, you know, looking back at it now, it was the best decision. It was a no-brainer. But at the time, I didn't jump on it right away because I was assistant at West. I graduated from West. I was going to stay at West forever. And I just had coaching buddies like, Mike, you got to take it. You got to do it. And that was the best basketball decision I made from a coaching standpoint that I ever made. I got an amazing amount of experience, job duties. I'm subbing. I'm running practice. I remember 15 years ago, I'm in practice, running practice for Coach Darding, and I didn't want him to leave because I don't want to run practice. I'm not ready for this. And so I do it. But now looking down the line and seeing where I'm at, seeing the work that I'm doing now and the job that I've done thus far, it was those experiences. Bloom, no different, man. Bloom just believed in me, you know, and he wasn't necessarily pushing me out the door, but he encouraged me to apply for jobs. So even before I got the head coaching job at Highland Park, I had applied for a few jobs, and those were all credited to Coach Bloom. Hey, put this in, use me as a reference, do this. You're gonna be a rock star. I didn't know what I was gonna be. I just loved the game. And so it was those individuals who laid a foundation for me, allowed me to be around a program. You know, coaching a team is one thing, but building a program that's a mainstay at a school and a staple in the community, that's a whole nother ball game. And that's what those guys taught me. And so those are the things I lean on. And I needed that old school kind of drive, you know, where, you know, you get the new age. Are we being friends with kids? Are we coaching kids? Well, if you come from the old school, man, they was coaching you. And so I seen that day in and day out. I seen discipline. I seen accountability. I seen pushing kids and holding kids to standards. And those are the things I try to apply to my Highland Park kids.
You know, and something that you kind of make me think about is when I interviewed Dwayne Anthony,
Yeah.
and I interviewed DeMarco Hunter, who now both have high school basketball
Yeah.
coaching at Holton and
Yeah.
Hayden specifically. You know, they said Rick Bloomquist, he let them be free.
Yeah.
Meaning he wasn't always, you know, on them specifically. He always let them do what assistant coaches would do. Is that good to be a coach where, yes, you want to be, you know, have that advice, but to be a little bit free and kind of have your own little say?
Yeah.
Did you see that with Coach?
So important. And I mean, to be able to do that, you know, I really believe that you got to have like a background or an experience to be, you know, so the basketball part for me being a player. I mean, I still play to this time. I might check up with one of my players in practice, shoot, next week when we're going at it. But that background from a basketball standpoint allowed me to step out and do those things. And then credit to Bloom, credit to Darding, for not being, I can't say stuck in their ways or anything like that, but being willing to relinquish some of the rope a little bit and allow somebody else to help you pull a little bit. And so I'm subbing. I mean, from day one with Coach D, I made every sub. I called every out of bounds play. Like I said, I was running practices. I get over there with Coach Bloomquist. I'm running the summer workouts. So I was gaining so much experience and going through all of these basketball related things that was going to help me become a better coach. But it was their trust. You get in the huddle at the end of practice, and it never failed. Boom, looks up, Coach Mike, what you got? Tell me what you got. And I began to, over the course of a season, I began to look forward to that. I'm coming into a huddle, like, man, I got to have something to say, because I didn't want to be the guy that the mic is thrown to me and I ain't got nothing to say. So I always wanted to bring value. I wanted to bring value to the program, and I think they recognized that there was something that I could do to help support our programs and get us to the next level, and it's helped me as a head coach. We got into a time in the sub-state last year. We call a full timeout, and we huddle up as a coach and staff, and Coach, we need to go to this. This is Coach Nate. Man, take the board. I'm over his shoulder like, hey, da-da-da-da-da-da. So I learned that from guys that allowed me to do those things, and I just want to make sure that what I learned I don't hold on to, not just for my players, but for my fellow coaches who I work side by side with.
It's something that you bring up as well with Coach Darting, and obviously the court at Highland Park is named after him.
Yes, sir.
So does that give you any extra motivation knowing that, right, obviously the whole coaching connection, is that cool to be able to have him on the court, not physically, but have his name there where where it basically all started?
I think it's an amazing thing, and credit to him for the work that he put in over at Highland Park to be able to be in a position to get a court named after him. And like when I see something like that, it motivates me. It makes me believe that that's something that I can attain to as well too, just through making differences and stuff like that. But you want to maintain it, man. Coach Darting was an amazing coach at Highland Park, but there was a few. Randy Springs was the Grand State champion. You go back and study out the stuff that he did, not just at Highland Park, but at Sumner. He's a legend, man. So there's been a lot of them, and so Darting is, the one that we know about. But the coaching legends that have went through Highland Park make you, as the current coach, you don't want to drop that ball. You don't want to be the coach who let the tradition slip. I mean, I remember being young around here, and we're talking Brinsco, and we're talking Randy Springs. Now it's just crazy to think that 15 years, 10 years from now, they're going to be talking Coach Mike. And it's motivating, man, because I want to do my part. You want to leave a space better than how you found it. And I truly believe that what we've done in Highland Park, what we're on the cusp of doing, because I think we have our best team to date this year coming up, that I really believe that I'm going to leave a space better than how I found it.
And let me ask as well, because you obviously have your son on the team.
Yeah.
Is that right? Dad, father, coach, you have a lot to balance there too. So what's that like, being able to balance it on the court, but also, obviously you guys are at home, your dad. So what's that balance like?
First of all, I'll say it's the most amazing opportunity that I have to coach my son. I love Mikey more than anything in this world. And all I want is to see my son make it. I want to see him get out of Topeka. He loves the game. So I want to see him utilize the game to get to where he wants to go to. And so, I take it serious. It's also something I know that at times, coaching your kid, I never wanted to give off the image, that Mikey was receiving a level of privilege that other kids wasn't getting, because he was my son. So on top of coaching him, man, I'm on him on a regular. We're in the gym all of the time. Like, I'm giving him little thoughts. I mean, you're a coach's son. You got to make sure you're doing this and doing that. And so, it's an amazing opportunity. And I had practice at it. So before coaching him in high school, I had a youth program that I was involved in. And so I had coached him since the second grade. So it was something I had a lot of practice on. It was something that I was ready to get into. And really, honestly, like, Mikey has been one of the main reasons why I've really still been in it. Not that I've been looking to get out of it, but I wanted to be around when my son got in high school. I wanted to coach. I wanted to be a head coach. I wanted to be able to have created a program or have been a part of a program that my son would want to be a part of. And it's helped. And, those years of coaching those young guys, Jacory Robinson grew up playing for me. Jamin Wilson grew up playing for me. There's guys throughout the city that grew up playing for me. So these are guys that have been around, my son Mikey included, played for me for a long time. And, you know, they know expectation. They know what we want. And now they're guys who I'm just looking to when things are going wrong right now. I'm going to look at Mikey like, man, what's up, man? You got to help me get this thing right. But he's ready for that. Great kid, great student, great leader, great basketball player. And I think he's about to have an amazing year this year coming up.
It's about LeBron and Bronny, kind of like that.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what it is, man. But like you hope that you can, as a father, be in a position that you can give your kids access to opportunities or prepare your kids for opportunities. And so as I see Bronny, I'm a Kobe fan, but I have the utmost respect for Bron. But I gain more respect for Bron as I've watched that situation play out. There's some people who might be against it or whatever, but if you can help your kid get closer to their goals, that's what we're here for. And so that meant something to me. And so, yeah, LeBron and Bronny's situation definitely resonates with me. I believe in it. And I hope that I can continue to be able to provide opportunities for my son.
And one last thing I'll ask you, Coach, and when you look at Highland Park, and if people don't know about Highland Park, if people don't know about the basketball program, or just the high school itself.
Yeah.
If you had to describe it, and right, you've been there, you said, for 7 years now. So how would you describe Highland Park? How would you describe what this basketball team's about? How would you put that all in? One word's difficult, but how would you try to summarize that?
You get me rocking in my chair because it resonates with me. I've been a Highland Park head coach 7 years. I spent 4 years as an assistant coach. Like I said before, I was from Topeka. The basketball program at Highland Park is a staple of that community. When you never fail, I'm bumping into people. I'm a 65 grad, I'm a 70 grad, I'm an 80 grad sitting front row at our games. And I bring it to our guys' attention, like even more reason why we got to take care of business, because we have people who rely on our program and the success of our program as they go through their life. And one thing I'll say about Highland Park is not what people make it out to be. I know there could possibly be a thought about what Highland Park is. It's totally different than what people make it out to be. We got amazing kids there, amazing staff and admin, amazing alumni. And we have an amazing basketball program that's kind of been a staple. So we understand that. We know that people rally behind our program and our kids. And we also believe, like, I use the basketball program to show the success that can be attained by students, by the community, by people from that Highland Park community, because it's a tight-knit community, man. They love their basketball. They love Highland Park. And when we show up on Tuesdays and Friday nights, and we can show a certain level of blue-collar work that people can respect and people can relate to, that's what we're trying to do. As we take this Running Scots tradition to the next level, we just want to make sure that our program is representing Highland Park, the community, and then, also the city of Topeka. Because when it's been amazing. We make those runs to the state tournament. Highland Park is behind us, but I'm steadily getting messages from Topeka people in general. And they're like, man, we love watching Highland Park. It's nothing to see us. I go to Seaman, I'm from Washburn Rural, but they're in the stand supporting our teams, and we appreciate that. And our kids appreciate that. And it shows the together and the continuity of Topeka as a whole.
Coach, is there anything else that I'm missing from, I know we went over a lot of different topics, coaching style, Highland Park, anything that I'm missing that you like to add?
Man, just know, like, we're thankful to be in this position that we're in, players and coaches. We hope that we can continue to provide a product on Tuesdays and Friday nights that people love and want to come see. And just get out there this winter. We think we got a really, really good team. We got really, really good players, good student athletes, and get out there and support us as we go forward.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
God.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.